Yeah, the fact that the IGP's anti-Galamsey task force has even been disbanded should tell you that there's no commitment to do whatever you're talking about.
You think so?
But if the whole IGP's team to fight the thing is disbanded by the president, what is the commitment there?
But it's an existing operation. The 9 months is working.
And what's the result? What are we seeing around? Have you seen the video where railway lines have been dug up?
In Sutar.
You saw it, and somebody is telling you that we are winning the fight against Ghana. You want to believe it? The reality on the ground is that the thing is getting worse by the day. So the evidence is from the grounds. It's not what people say. The evidence is clear that the thing is getting worse by the day, and there's nothing we are doing about it. We are only doing the very things we've been doing since President Mills' time. And that's why it keeps getting worse by the day. Nothing. The only significant evidence is Akufo-Addo banning small-scale mining for almost 2 years. And everybody saw the evidence that the water bodies were returning to normality. And then the pressure mounted. There are almost 4 million people who depend on small-scale mining. People are going hungry. And let them come to work. And we said, oh, people should come to work because they are hungry. And that's where we are, here we are. That's the most, in fact, if any president had demonstrated that he wants to fight this thing, it's Akufo-Addo. To ban small-scale mining for almost 2 years. Tell me, was President Mama banned it for any time during his first term? No. President Mills, was there any ban?
But we're told that even during that ban by Akufo-Addo,
we saw the water bodies getting clearer. That I'm telling you, I've told you that there are 2 things we can only use to determine this fight, whether we are winning or not. The water bodies and the destruction of the forest around us. As long as the water bodies are this, and you are telling me that we are doing what? During that period, we knew that Galamsey was still going on, but not to a certain scale where the water bodies were brown. Which everybody had testified that the water bodies were returning to normality. It became worse the moment that ban was lifted and then small-scale miners were allowed to go back. And that was where the thing has gone to where it is today. And there's no way we are going to get any result if there is no ban on small-scale mining. If there's no ban on small-scale mining, no amount of task force, okay, is going to be able to do anything. Do you know the length of River Offin or Pra? How many soldiers do we have in Ghana? Can you position soldiers along the river, which stretches all the way to almost Côte d'Ivoire? And Cobra goes all the way to Côte d'Ivoire. Are you going to station soldiers along the Ankobra all the way to Côte d'Ivoire to stop How many soldiers do you have? So let's understand that this thing, we are only pretending that we are fighting, but the reality facing us is that we are not winning the fight. We are actually not fighting anything. And I've told you, you can declare state of emergency. It's not the matter. It's either you are committed to the fight. A declaration of state of emergency in itself is not an answer. And I've always told you, we saw police people running away from people being beaten at a polling station in a small election. What are the police there to do? They were there to protect people. But when people were being beaten, they were running away from the scene. So even if the president declares state of emergency today, and the commitment to drive out the people from the forest is not there because they are party people, there is nothing that will change. The state of emergency will remain on paper, but nothing will change because the party people will still drive away the task force. Haven't you seen party chairman driving away soldiers from his concession that he is NDC? This is his working for. The soldiers have no right, and the task force retreated. The videos are on the internet. So if you declare a state of emergency and party chairman will be driving people away and the task force will run away because they are scared of the politician, what results are you going to get? So you see, we should all be realistic and tell ourselves that we are not winning this fight. The fight, we are not winning. And we must listen to voices of reason. I told you that meeting is just going to be drinking tea and nothing will change. Over the weekend, I had an opportunity to speak to somebody who has been in the mining sector for over 40 years.
Right.
His position is that there's no way a country can regulate small-scale mining. Because the numbers of people who are into small-scale, you can never employ regulators monitors for an institution that will monitor all of them across board. It's impossible. And therefore, his position is that small-scale mining should be banned completely. Ban it completely. And lift it to medium-scale mining. If you ban it completely and lift it to medium-scale mining will require all the permits and processes that a large-scale mining is supposed to go through. So the few people who can get a license for medium-scale mining will now employ the people who want to go into mining in the communities. By so doing, you can have inspectors that will monitor these large-scale, medium-scale miners about how they go about their operations and ensure that they just operate like the large-scale mining. And then you can really police them, and then they can employ the people in the communities that who wants to go into it as employees. And so he has made the point that state of emergency is needless because it will still not achieve anything. Because if you are saying 4 million people depend on mining, and you are saying that out of the 4 million, maybe 1 million are directly engaged in it, can you employ 1 million or 500,000 people to be inspectors of those small scale mining sites? He said it's not possible. He even told me that at the beginning that they wanted to legalize small scale mining, the head of inspector division at the Minerals Commission at the time told the then President Jerry Rawlings that Ghana should not attempt it. And if we legalize small scale mining, that is the end of us. But his advice was not taken at the time. The president of the time, according to him, the president of the time was even not happy with that advice, and we went ahead and legalized. So people have been in this business. They know and have ideas. They think if the government will listen to them, will help. But the point is, the small-scale miners have large numbers.
True.
If you attempt that, you want to go, but you are afraid that they will vote against you in the next election. And therefore, politicians are scared. It's because of the vote. So they are scared. Not to say you are banning small-scale mining completely and that nobody can do small-scale mining in Ghana. And that it's only from medium scale to large scale that you permit. And for that reason, only those who can afford to do medium-scale mining should be licensed, and then they should employ any other person who wants to do some mining. That is his position. And I have told you that, I have said it, that what we are talking about is a very big problem. If 8 months, small-scale gold, gold board has purchased and sold is $6 billion. You are fighting a $6 billion industry. Not all the gold they mine is what gold board has been able to purchase. So they smuggle a lot out. But if the one that gold board has even been able to buy,
it's 6 billion.
It's 6 billion. You should know the magnitude of the thing. And the man says, look, you say small-scale mining. Mining is mining. So what a large-scale miner is supposed to do, go through all permits, go through all environmental and whatever, it's the same thing a small-scale miner is supposed to do. But that small-scale miner, how does it have the capacity to be able to do all the things that a medium-scale or large-scale miner is supposed to go through? Securing permits alone will take almost a year from EPA and all other places.
Right. All
the processes you have to establish, like the way we monitor Gold Coast, Newmont, and the rest about everything they do, every small thing they do, somebody has to make sure that. He said that's the same procedure that should apply to every single small-scale miner. Where are we going to get all the inspectors to be able to be that you have 1 acre of place you are doing small-scale mining, and somebody is there to make sure that you have all the necessary permits, how you have to make sure water flows, and all these things you have to follow. He said it is not possible. So the only solution we have is that, to him, just illegalize small-scale mining. Then nobody will say, I've been licensed as a small-scale miner, because it's also true that many of the people who have been licensed as a small-scale mining, what they are doing is contrary to mining regulations. But the mere fact that they hold a license, it's difficult for anybody to say you are arresting them that they are doing illegal, but they say we have a license.
Right.
But the license is just the beginning. The reality is how you do the mining is what matters. But the small-scale miners, how you do the mining is not their business. All they care is that I have the license. So you see, there are people in the system who have been in this industry for years.
Right.
And they know what they believe will solve this problem. We should look for, as I told you, if the president will look for a team of experts and they get the proper advice, review all that we have done so far in terms of the fight, the victory where we made some positive impact, where the negatives, if we let independent researchers go, they can talk to the people about how they think this thing can be tackled. And if we can seek knowledge from abroad, countries that have fought this thing successfully, and we put all together, do a proper peer review, and then come out with a new strategy as to how we can go. So probably maybe at the end of that, they would all agree that banning small-scale mining is the solution, because maybe enough evidence would have presented that it is impossible to regulate the activities of these small-scale miners. And therefore, since it is impossible to regulate them, if you allow them to continue to operate under the guise that you have licensed them, you can never achieve anything in terms of the water bodies or the forest. And therefore, the best thing is that, but maybe that may be the conclusion. Maybe somebody may also bring some nice idea somewhere, but this tea drinking thing, it will not bring anything.
By some of these meetings that will churn out some of these
These
ideas.
are not this one-day meeting. I'm telling you that I told you that
proposals were made.
Give
I'm
them
sure
a
the
mandate
presidency is
of
taking
about
record
6
of
months.
same.
Let them do a proper review. What did they review? Whatever has been done for the past 15 years. That meeting, that one-day meeting, did they review
But for
it?
the meeting, we didn't even know the Attorney General was preparing a new LI to repeal the
That was after we fought them. The CSOs fought them. When they came, but the first thing they did was to say they were not going to repeal the law.
They were going
The
to amend.
president promised that they will repeal the law. When they came, the first thing they sent to Parliament was not a repeal. They said they were going to amend a section of it that takes the power of granting the lease from the president. So they were not actually going to repeal, to ban mining in forest reserve. That's not what they were going to do.
They were changing the authority that grants the license.
Exactly. And then the public fought back. The CSOs fought back. That is what has forced them. Why wouldn't they admit this? Because you promised that you are going to revoke. Revoke means that you are going to ban in all forests. But when it came to power, that's not what they did. The first amendment they sent to Parliament was just to take the power of the president of granting. They did not ban mining in. It took public anger, said, no, that's not what you promised. And that's not what will solve the fight. Before they made a U-turn, now to say, let's repeal the whole law. They were making all kinds of arguments. People have been given legal license in this forest reserve. If you repeal the entire law, it means that you are banning the activities. The state will face legal suits in terms of losses, and then there will be people who may be state may be paying judgment and all. They came up with all arguments why they think that the thing cannot be banned. They came up with all kinds of arguments. It took public pressure before now they have decided that they are going to repeal the whole thing. So see, if we will let the truth speak, we can fight this thing. But this thing that we are doing, and I said, if we take lessons from what Akufo-Addo did, by banning it almost 2 years, water bodies were returned, and then the moment the ban was lifted, the thing got worse than what at the time that he even imposed the ban. It should tell you that any attempt to say we are fighting with security and all these things will yield little or no result. And until we take that drastic decision, if all of us believe that this is a threat to the whole of Ghana, everybody's life is in danger, and that at the end of the day, we are in problem. We face existential threat, and therefore let's take the decision, no matter how painful it will be, it will be in our interest, that we do. But this promise and all those things, is the president telling us that national security has not identified that Galamsey is a threat to all of us? And if Galamsey is a threat to all of us, is it not a grounds to declare a state of emergency if it's needed? What advice will you need from national security again about the dangerous impact of Galamsey to be able to declare it as a state of emergency? And remember, Occupy Ghana and others were not even saying that declare state of emergency in the whole Ghana. They said in the mining areas where Galamsey is going on. So they were specific as to where this thing should be done. 3 years ago, Occupy Ghana gave the same advice. Akufo-Addo didn't implement it. So that one is on record. So it's the same thing that the society is repeating, that make sure that you do this. And now you are giving us excuse of national. Who said national security doesn't know that it's a threat to all of us? National security have a human something department. They even go and dig boreholes for people if there's no water in the community, because they see water as a security issue. And we are looking at a development that will destroy our entire water bodies in the country. And you are telling me that national security doesn't see it as what? A threat for them to give you a report, and you are waiting for them to come and tell you. It's already a national security threat. And we don't really need to be giving this kind of excuses. The president should be giving us the kind of assurances that will give us that confidence. If the president, as I said, if the president says for the next 3 months, nobody is going to chase any Galamsey out. Okay? I've withdrawn everybody. Independent group of people should go and talk to the people as to what they think the situation and what they think can be done about it. I have the team that is reviewing all the past fights, okay, to know where we did something right, where we didn't do something right. I have a team that is engaging countries that have fought this thing successfully, and they are getting the necessary advice from these people. We even bring some of their experts in. They will fly around, travel to community, see what it is. And then we bring a master report as to really what we think the situation is, where we failed, where we made some impact, the lessons we can learn from other countries. This is what the people who are into the thing are saying that we should do if we want to be able to end this thing. And we put all together, and then we come up with a new strategy to be able to deal with this. For me, this approach that we are going back and forth, in the next 2 years, we will be talking about this. Meanwhile, as we are all talking, the water bodies are being destroyed more. And more people are drinking poisons, and we are all eating poisons. Maybe it will get to a point where half of Ghana all have kidney diseases. Then that is
Hopefully we don't get there.
That is where
hopefully we don't get there. Hopefully we don't get